Blake Lively's sudden control over It Ends With Us has ignited a firestorm of rumors, including shocking sexual harassment allegations and hush-hush behind-the-scenes feuds. We'll reveal how last-minute composer swaps, leaked fan footage, and hidden creative disputes turned this film into one of Hollywood's hottest controversies. Brace yourself for an explosive deep dive into the drama still shaking Tinseltown to its core.
I knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled.
She admitted to trying to poison the cast of Gossip Girl, which is where she made her name. They released the cut of the movie. He didn't even get to see it. He was the director of the film, the producer of the film, the guy who got the rights to the film, the one who's supposed to be in control. He didn't even get to see it. He was in the basement at his own movie premiere.
I take on more than I can chew. I say yes to things out of fear. I people please.
You'll remember the director accused Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, of using their power to steal the movie from him.
I woke up at 4:30 this morning. My heart was racing. I'm noticing that, I'm having some anxiety.
The film It Ends With Us was originally met with sky-high expectations. On paper, it had all the right ingredients, but behind the curtain, rumors of cutthroat power plays and frantic last-minute changes swirled. In the center of it all stood Blake Lively. And did she simply want to elevate the film, or was she hungry for total control? Recent leaks and insider accounts paint a picture that's far more turbulent than most people imagine. According to these sources, Blake not only guided creative decisions, but also reshaped entire elements of the film without the original director's permission. Her alleged maneuvers at Book Bonanza led some to believe she was cementing her dominance while the cameras rolled and an enraptured crowd cheered her on. But that wasn't the whole story. Word first broke about a special Book Bonanza screening in mid-June, a time when fans were desperate to see It Ends With Us come to life. Attendees thought they were witnessing a rare peek into the creative process. Blake stepped on stage with a magnetic smile, assuring everyone that the film was almost ready, but not quite complete. On the surface, this looked like a humble confession, that the film needed final tweaks, yet rumors later suggested that she was withholding the truth. Allegedly, the film did have a finished score at that point, composed by an award-winning musician and fully paid for by the studio. So, why imply that it wasn't ready? Attendees at Book Bonanza cheered, laughed, and cried while watching the near-complete cut.
Well, this is Brittany's Versace dress, 2002, the butterfly dress, and this dress meant so much to me. Oh my God, my husband's getting soaking wet in the rain. It meant so much to me.
I feel like you poured a lot into this movie, but then you turned around and you were just as supportive of Ryan. Yeah. What is it like to...
And my hair care company, Blake Brown, my goodness gracious. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy week. I haven't slept in a lot of time.
Some describe Blake's onstage presence as that of a proud creator. Fans who caught her short speech said she carried herself like the ultimate decision maker, simultaneously praising the film's collaborative efforts while making claims that more changes might be on the way. No sooner had Book Bonanza ended than whispers spread about the original composer's sudden dismissal. This was a musician with a track record of critical acclaim. Despite the composer having a complete score ready for final edits, rumors emerged that Blake insisted on scrapping it. Industry insiders claimed the timing was more than coincidental. It happened almost immediately after Book Bonanza. Even more telling, a new composer was reportedly hired within days, someone who had just wrapped work on an action comedy and had precious little time to craft a new score from the ground up. Was the Book Bonanza event used to showcase a version of the film that Blake preferred, ensuring that fans would already be invested? Or was this simply a scheduling conflict that forced the last-minute change? The abrupt decision carried financial consequences too. Paying out the old composer's contract and hiring fresh talent so late in the process cost the studio a fortune. Those expenditures naturally caused friction. Although creative differences in filmmaking are commonplace, the tension in this project became unusually public. Blake's critics argue that her presence at Book Bonanza was a calculated move to sway public favor. By presenting a cut that fans seemed to adore, and by playing the part of a protective visionary, she left little room for anyone to oppose her changes once positive reactions circulated online. Sources close to the original director claim that his vision was sidelined step by step. After the Book Bonanza screening, reshoots and re-edits allegedly took on a life of their own. The composer replacement was just one piece of the puzzle.
I do junkets every day. You can't always tell people you love their movies, but I love this one. So seriously, thank you for taking the time.
Oh man, thanks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to jump into this, and Blake, I'm going to start with you. Most of us, if we're lucky enough to run into a celebrity in public, we only have a few moments to maybe speak with you guys. But for people who see this movie, who relate to the topics of this movie on a deeply personal level, they're really going to want to talk to you. This movie is going to affect people, and they're going to want to tell you about their lives. So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you, and then we could
Others point to the injection of certain licensed tracks, reminiscent of 1990s rom-com montages, as evidence that the final product had morphed into something entirely different than planned. All of this speculation intensified when Blake publicly stated at various events that she was deeply involved in the film's production. Some said she wasn't merely involved, she was steering the ship. The production studio, locked into a contract with her, reportedly felt obligated to agree with her new direction to avoid negative press or possible claims of harassment. Whatever the truth, these accounts paint a picture of a star who took matters into her own hands, for better or worse. For those who believe Blake's alleged power plays are new, there is an anecdote dating back to her work with Oliver Stone on Savages. People have pointed out how she openly joked about turning the entire crew against him by distributing humorous shirts that read, "I survived Oliver Stone." At the time, many chalked it up to lighthearted banter, but to some, it showed a pattern. She apparently had no qualms about challenging established directors and toying with on-set dynamics in a way that put her in the spotlight. Why reference this old story now? Because it frames the argument that she has a history of undermining directors whose visions might clash with her own. In fairness, Hollywood is filled with big personalities. Directors, actors, and producers often clash over creative details. Yet the Savages anecdote reemerged the moment rumors of conflict with "it ends with us" started leaking out. It served as a sort of "told you so" piece of evidence. Proof that she might cultivate an environment where a director ends up marginalized or overshadowed. Critics say it goes beyond mere jokes. They see a calculated attempt to manipulate morale and shift the power dynamic in her favor. Whether these stories are overblown or spot on, they point to a track record of tension that frequently appears when Blake is deeply involved in a project's creative direction. One of the most puzzling moments surfaced from a leaked clip, where Blake referred to herself as suffering from toxic masculinity, right after she screened a film about domestic violence. Many found it jarring, given the context. The phrase toxic masculinity often describes harmful societal pressures placed on men: entitlement, emotional repression, or aggression, traits that can lead to real harm. Hearing Blake joke about it raised eyebrows. Had she intended a playful remark about never crying or feeling the need to always appear strong? Possibly. But in the wake of controversies around alleged harassment claims on set, her words only fueled contradictions in the public eye. Some viewers questioned how someone who identifies with the notion of being overly aggressive or emotionally stifled could simultaneously claim she felt threatened and victimized by a colleague's supposed behavior. Was she mocking the entire concept of toxic masculinity or shining a light on her own complexities? Interpretations vary. Fans give her the benefit of the doubt, saying she was being candid about her difficulty showing vulnerability. Critics, however, argue that such a statement exposed cracks in her official stance about being subjected to a hostile work environment. By the time rumors of a civil lawsuit broke, observers were almost numb to the cycle of breaking news and social media chatter. Blake had reportedly been paid around $3 million to star in It Ends With Us. Then, accusations surfaced that she felt cut out of the film's larger profits. Some insiders believe everything boils down to money. If she wasn't going to see a share of the eventual box office windfall, she might have been motivated to file claims, ensuring she had grounds to demand additional payouts later. Moreover, talk of an extortion tactic spread like wildfire. The cynics insisted she was only calling foul to pressure the production team and original director into granting her a bigger slice of the financial pie. Others say her claims of feeling unsafe on set are genuine, pointing to the fact that disputes about on-screen intimacy and boundaries can be overlooked in Hollywood, especially when a star's reputation or an entire production is on the line. The lawsuit's key question remains: how much of this is a sincere pursuit of justice, and how much is strategic posturing to secure more money? It's a question many watchers have, especially as court documents outline a potential settlement that could reach staggering amounts. If the case proceeds, it could reshape the perception of Blake Lively within industry circles. She has long been seen as a charismatic, polished presence, someone who rarely gets ensnared in scandal. A drawn-out legal battle, however, might peel back layers the public hasn't seen. Producers might hesitate to back projects where an actor demands creative control, especially if the final cut's success is overshadowed by lawsuits and negative headlines. On the other hand, if she emerges victorious, Blake could become a case study of an actor who, against all odds, wrestled creative freedom away from a director or production company. That kind of outcome might inspire other high-profile performers to push the boundaries of their influence. the implications could ripple through Hollywood, where stars increasingly leverage social media followings and fan events to gain leverage. Viewers, too, might come away with more nuanced opinions about the power struggles that happen off-camera. It's easy to watch a finished movie and assume it's the product of a harmonious collaboration, but leaked footage, scathing complaints, and insider testimonies prove otherwise. What ultimately happens with the lawsuit will likely set a precedent for how star-driven productions handle disputes in the future. In the end, the swirling controversy around "It Ends With Us" raises a fundamental question. Can any project survive when multiple visions clash and personal ambition overshadows collaboration? Was Blake Lively simply trying to protect her idea of the film? Or was she pushing boundaries to secure more credit and financial gain? From the special book Bonanza screening, to the abrupt firing of a seasoned composer, and from sly digs at legendary directors, to curious offhand comments about masculinity, the narrative grows more twisted at every turn. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between the opposing sides. Blake may have strong opinions and an unyielding drive, and the original director might have been equally determined to protect his vision. For now, the final verdict will come down to what unfolds in the legal arena and whether audiences ultimately embrace or reject the final cut. Meanwhile, fans and critics alike will keep debating her motivations. Is she a savvy manipulator, adept at spinning public sentiment? Or is she genuinely fighting to deliver the best possible version of the story she believes in? Whatever side you land on, one fact stands out. When creative differences go public, the tension can overshadow the very film everyone set out to make. This saga serves as a lesson to all involved. True collaboration demands respect for every creative voice. Until the dust settles, we'll be left wondering whose vision will prevail and whether the cost of that victory is too steep for Hollywood or for Blake Lively's own legacy. If you want to keep following the unfolding drama surrounding It Ends With Us and Blake Lively, make sure to like this video and subscribe for all the latest updates. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you're the first to know whenever a new video drops. Join me next time as we dig even deeper into Hollywood's most guarded behind-the-scenes secrets.
That